محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
The House of Representatives has commended the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON for the successful conduct of the 2017 Hajj exercise and expressed the hope that 2018 will be better. The lawmakers made the commendation when the House Committee of the Whole, led by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Suleiman Lasun Yusuf, considered and adopted the recommendations of the report on the 2017 Hajj. Chairman of the Committee on Nigeria-Saudi Arabia Parliamentary Friendship and Hajj Affairs, Abdullahi Salame, presented the report before the lawmakers. The legislators debated on some of the recommendations before adoption.
Mr. Chairman, sir, he says that states should be encouraged to move the accommodation of their pilgrims very close to Haram in Mecca. I don't understand how possible that is, considering that it's not only Nigerian pilgrims that are in Saudi Arabia at this time.
Accommodation in Mecca is within the purview of states. They arrange it. Yes, and in Mecca, arranged from the Haram, it is in cycles. They have some rings. So depending on where you can afford, you reside there. But now there is even an improvement. You know, before there were small houses. Now they are building bigger condominiums there, whereby, in fact, yesterday, our conclusion that 3 or 4 states should be encouraged to cooperate to take one condominium. About 1,500 people can be settled in one thing, and it will be closer to Haram.
And the highlights of the 2017 Hajj, and approved recommendation 1, 2, 3, 4, amended recommendation 5, and approved, then approved recommendation 6 and 7 in the report.
The lawmakers agreed to the following recommendations of the report, among others: that NAHCON should find ways of reducing Hajj fares, that even though the National Medical Team policy adopted by the Commission has improved significantly, the arrangements should be elaborated further to make the medical facility accessible with ease and close to pilgrims' accommodation, that states should be encouraged to move the accommodation of their pilgrims close to the Haram in Mecca, and that the Commission made commendable effort to curtail the activities of drug peddlers and other prohibited items during the 2017 Hajj, and should do more to sustain the faith through the enlightenment of pilgrims. Meanwhile, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON is making efforts to ensure that the airfares for 2018 Hajj are fixed at affordable rates. Towards this end, an ad hoc committee has been set up by the Commission under the leadership of Professor Abubakar Mustafa to negotiate the airfares with airliners participating in the airlift of pilgrims during the 2018 Hajj.
Hajj to be very, very affordable.
In an interview, the committee chairman explains more about its terms of reference.
Looking at the air package, airfares, and taking cognizance of the circumstances in which we are, the economic circumstances in which we are, we wanted Hajj to be very, very affordable to average Nigerians. And the only component of Hajj that worries us is the airfares, which is 100% foreign. That is, you have to talk in terms of dollars, not naira.
Professor Mustafa said negotiations on the rates will take into consideration the different flight zones for Hajj airlift operations in the country. Hajj has been described as one of the key platforms that create unity, social and economic development of Nigeria.
Through Hajj, the
chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON, Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad, stated this at a national symposium with a theme, Legacies of Hajj Operations and the Nigerian Question, organized by Manara TV and Radio in Abuja.
Through Hajj, the Nigerian Muslim Ummah are always united, irrespective of ideological differences. The National Ulama team has covered much ground in this regard. All the ulama gathered on Arafah Day to pray for Nigeria irrespective of sects, or language. Nigeria, being the 7th largest contingent in 2017, along with its improved efficiency in organizing Hajj, has made it trust of many service providers in Saudi Arabia. In addition to services rendered to pilgrims, some companies, upon the invitation of NAHCON, are considering making investment in the hospitality, transportation, and agricultural sectors in Nigeria.
Barrister Abdullahi further disclosed that Hajj has also helped in the spread of knowledge in Nigeria and beyond.
People embarking on Hajj by road had caused to pass through many settlements and caused the conversion to Islam of such settlement by peaceful means. Similarly, knowledge was being spread along the route as some learned scholars settled in some cities to spread knowledge on their way to Hajj.
He reiterated the commitment of NAHCON to preserve the legacies that Hajj has established in Nigeria over the years.
On the best way to handle Hajj operations.
Speaking earlier, Chairman of Manara TV, Sheikh Abdullahi Balalaw, explains the rationale for organizing the symposium.
Create more awareness on the best way to handle Hajj operations by all relevant stakeholders, and also identify more ways of simplifying the operation to advantage of the intending pilgrims.
Other stakeholders in Hajj matters made presentations on the contributions of Hajj towards national development and the need to do more to improve Hajj operations in the country.
Even what the pilgrim will spend.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is carrying out massive enlightenment campaigns for pilgrims across the country. This is in line with the Commission's Act, which states that NAHCON shall conduct educative and enlightenment campaigns on Hajj and Umrah in all the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The ongoing campaigns are being conducted in collaboration with state pilgrims boards and other stakeholders. The public enlightenment campaign is focusing on the following areas: 2018 Hajj pilgrims registration, introduction of biometric data capturing by Saudi Arabia, introduction of 5% VAT on goods and services in Saudi Arabia, and payments of 2,000 Saudi riyals by individuals repeating Hajj, as well as Hadaya payment.
This is especially built upon the similar exercise carried out before the collection of the 2017 Hajj fair. Particularly this year, there are some also new items that are likely to come in. On the first part, there is this issue of 5% VAT that's likely to be charged, and that would definitely be charged on some items in the Hajj fair. Secondly, there is this repeat of the 2,000 riyals for repeat goers of both Umrah and Hajj, which came in midstream last year, but now we know definitely it has come to stay, or at least it will be there for this year. So people have been synthesized on that one.
The Enlightenment program is also used as an avenue to educate intending pilgrims on how some of the newly introduced policies by Saudi government can affect them.
That if you're a repeat goer for either Hajj or Umrah, if you'd gone last year, for instance, so you know how to pay a surcharge of 2,000 riyals before your visa is processed. But if you have not gone, you're a fresh person, you don't need to pay that money. Nobody's going to collect that from you.
They want to give opportunity to the first timers. If you look at it, it is good, because Hajj is recommended in the Holy Quran at least once in a lifetime, if you have the means. And if you look at it critically, those people who goes every year, they pose problem for the operators too. They claim to know too much. Stay here, they don't want to stay. Do this, oh, this is not the way we've been doing it. I know this plan. They start moving about, not bothering about their health issue.
NAHCON has set the end of March for the closure of pilgrims registration, and the Saudi authority will close its portal by May. This, in the words of NAHCON, underscores the need to create awareness among pilgrims to ensure that they do not miss out on the deadlines.
They should not rely on hearsays anymore. Get it straight and authoritatively. Be fully informed. And then go ahead and make their payments immediately, at least pay up to 1.5 million naira to the respective state boards, and so that if by the time the fair is announced any time from now, it will be easy for them to balance up whatever is expected from them.
For the type of Hajj that involves hadaya or animal sacrifice, NAHCON has come up with a policy that will make the payment and implementation of hadaya transparent.
That the Commission is seriously working towards coming forward with the same kind of policy on how to pay the hadaya. People should not go for cheap, acclaimed cheap sacrificial animals, that are often fraudulent. I would say that categorically. Pay through the official channel, through the state board, and then get the appropriate receipt or acknowledgement. Then be assured, as long as you are performing the kind of Hajj that requires the sacrifice.
Warning intending pilgrims to steer clear of any prohibited item during pilgrimage is another area the Enlightenment campaign is emphasizing.
The regulations led by the government, especially on issues of pilgrims going along with prohibited items. Sometimes we have quite a number of challenges with pilgrims going along with drugs and what have you. So that is our major concern. With try to enlighten pilgrims that all what you want and all what you have in Nigeria, we have it in Saudi Arabia. Whatever is in Nigeria, we have it in Saudi Arabia. So there is no need of any intending pilgrim to take all prohibited items in his bags, just like knives, drugs, what have you.
Apart from the stakeholders awareness program, other means of reaching pilgrims are also being explored, particularly the media.
Be very close to the media, how this. Listen to the ulamas, be obedient to their leaders, listen to laid down rules and regulations of the authorities, National Hajj Commission, State Pilgrims Welfare Board and Agency, and also go to the ulamas, learn more about those do's and don'ts of Hajj affairs. That will help them and it will mold their behavior, inshallah.
Like in my zone, most of the intending pilgrims are traders. And the hustling and bustling of trading, especially in Lagos, it's not easy. By the time they come back, they are fagged out. But the beauty of it is that most of them, they are on radio, they are on television. Even they can even listen to radio on their phones. So it's a way of helping them. Let them abide by it. Just listen and abide by what is being said. It's nothing.
Since Hajj exercise involves issues of health, economy, and social interactions, intending pilgrims are expected to go the extra mile in acquiring general knowledge about them.
The activities, the monastical Hajj, the real religious knowledge, and then look for public health officials to tell you about personal hygiene. Look for road safety to tell you about how to cross roads. Look for even psychologists, sociologists to tell you how to mix with other general communities, how to use facilities in the Holy Land that are strange or different from what we have here. Overall education and enlightenment, I think, is the key here.
The issue of luggage.
The enlightenment campaigns are being led by key NAHCON officials and stakeholders coming from the ulama, state government officials, intending pilgrims, as well as experts on Hajj matters.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, urged all intending pilgrims to seek knowledge on how to perform Hajj and Umrah in order to attain the desired results. To achieve this, NAHCON directs all the pilgrims' welfare boards and agencies as well as tour operators to organize enlightenment programs for all the intending pilgrims from date of payment to commencement of operations. It is your right to be educated on how to perform Hajj and Umrah. For more information, visit guide.nigeriahajcom.gov.ng or send an email to info@nigeriahajcom.gov.ng.
لك والملك لا شريك لك
This message is brought to you by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON.
نور سطع في المدينة محمد نبينا بنور هدينا اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة.
While performing the Hajj, both male and female pilgrims are expected to observe all the rites as stipulated in Islam. But there are some rules peculiar to women. What then are these rules? And which of the Hajj rites are applicable to only female pilgrims?
Either a woman, she is pure, that is, in her
On
state
Hajj
of
Talk
purity.
tonight, Imam Umar Yanda Aliyu provides answers to these and other questions.
The four pillars are, number one, the intention, that which is ihram. Number two is tawaf. Number three is sa'i. And number four is al-wuquf, that is, standing on the ground of Arafah on the 9th day. All these pillars is compulsory upon male pilgrim and also upon female pilgrim.
Can female pilgrims assume ihram and declare intention even when menstruating?
None is expected to exceed the miqat without declaring his or her intention. Either a woman, she is pure, that is, in her state of purity, or she is observing her monthly period, she must also declare this intention.
What kind of clothing is recommended for women during the Hajj?
Islam has given them that privilege, number one, to be in any form of dress allowed by Islam. Any dress that fulfills the criteria laid down by Islam, she can be and declare her intention in that. Not minding the color, not minding it should be so like this or like that or like that. But now in these days, you find out that our mothers, our sisters, they also prefer to appear in that white, which is not compulsory.
The Imam stressed that the cloth must not be tied on her body. The fabric must not be transparent. She must not wear any cloth designed for males. She should not wear perfumes, among others. On the day of Arafat, a woman in menstruation can recite the talbiyah, make other supplications, but will not offer salah or read the Quran.
It's very, very important because it's one of the pillars without which no Hajj. Because it says, Al-Hajju Arafah. Al-Hajju Arafah, the entire Hajj, that is what it means, is under or summarized under Arafah. That very day is very, very important because it's the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being proud of those that are on that ground. Even women who are observing their monthly period, there is no any difference between them and those that are pure. The only thing is they cannot observe that prayer, Zohar and Asr, which is observed on the ground of Arafah. All the prayers observed on the ground of Arafah, they cannot just observe it. But every other thing, supplications, and we know the modalities of supplicating on the day of Arafah. The Prophet ﷺ is said to have remained on his feet, supplicating, facing Qibla, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the goods of this world and that of hereafter.
On the shaving of the hair, the Imam explains how women should cut theirs.
The shaving of the hair. The shaving of the hair for men, they are to shave it completely. The one that Hausa people are calling kwalkobo. You clear the entire hair. Which some scholars will even tell you that is the only place where you are expected to clear your entire hair to do kwalkobo. Now, for my sisters, they are to cut unmila, equivalent of this tip of a finger, out of their hair. She can draw back her hair completely, without even taking it to her colleague or a fellow sister to say, oh, cut it for me.
When performing sa'i, or the movement between Safa and Marwa, women are not to jog when they reach the point with the green light.
And the way men are to do, so women should do, except where men are expected to jog, women remains walking. You can't see men jogging, then because you yourself as a woman, you want to exercise your body, you now join them as if you are picking race. Men are not to run, because that is the common mistake many pilgrims do commit. At that, you see somebody, you will, as if one is running for some kilometers. We are only expected to jog in between the green lights. Women walk as usual. Then all other activities that are to be performed at this point between Safa and Marwa is the same thing.
How can male and female pilgrims perform tawaf?
The number of circumambulation men are to do is the same number women are also to do. Where there is a difference is on the performance of tawaf. A woman is not allowed to observe her tawaf except if she is in her state of purity. A woman observing her monthly period, she cannot go to observe tawaf until when she attains that state of purity.
He, however, warns women not to struggle with the crowd during tawaf.
Women should be careful. There are certain places where they shouldn't try going, like going to kiss Hajar al-Aswad. You know, there is no any time that you will find that point so free. You can even see people lying up. At all the time, there is always pushings and pushings at that particular point.
Similarly, women should not recite the talbiyah aloud. Women should not jog during tawaf or sa'i, and women should go for hajj with mahram. The Imam states further that the widows or divorcees who are in iddah or waiting period should not go for hajj.
A woman, she has paid, maybe have made payment for hajj, and eventually, as Allah would have it, along the line before maybe the movement, the preparations and some other things, she lost her husband. In this circumstance, particularly on the most prominent opinion is for her to delay her hajj. If, to some scholars, she has performed before. And if she has not performed before, she can hence live within the confines of the situation she is in. Because if we say she should delay it next year, we don't know what may happen. She can go to perform it, but to remain within the confines, in quotes, the rules and regulations guiding the period, the situation she is in.
He then urged intending pilgrims to be law-abiding and perform all the Hajj rites as expected of them.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, urges all intending pilgrims from all states of the Federation to start installment payments of at least 300,000 naira monthly for this year's Hajj from November 2017 to March 2018.
The payments and registration should be made at respective state Muslim pilgrims welfare offices nationwide through the NAHCON online registration portal at www.nigeriahajcom.gov.ng free of charge. Therefore, no fee is required for any form for the 2018 Hajj registration at all, nor by the pilgrims registration officers of the state's board.
Payments could be made by bank draft or online platforms of the state pilgrims welfare offices, and receipt must be collected there and then. No cash payment to any person.
All intending pilgrims traveling through states Muslim pilgrims welfare agencies, boards, commissions, and those traveling using tour operators must note that the 2018 Hajj calendar requires that by March ending, all payments must have been concluded in Nigeria to finalize preparations against the May 2018 deadline for the closure of Saudi Hajj portal.
This message is from the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك